Hey loves, welcome back. We are in unit 15 of 16, so we are almost done. So close to the end. I am, like I said before, so proud of you for all the work that you have done. That continues. You just continue to astound me, and I just am honored to be a part of your journey. Today we're going to talk about anger. So before we get started, I want you to make sure that you're in a good headspace to watch this video. Because the whole, even just talking about the exercise that's going to come up um, could bring up some emotions, some negative emotions. So if you are not in the best headspace right now, if you're not in a grounded, centered place, I highly recommend just pausing the video, coming back when you are in a better headspace, because this unit is heavy. And I just want you to be aware of that and take the necessary steps to make sure that you are protecting your energy. Okay? And when you're ready, come on back. So we're going to start with our box breathing and close your eyes. Ooh, excuse me. And center down into your body. Wiggle around if you need to. Stretch, pop the neck. All right. So we're going to inhale 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Again, inhale 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Last time. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. And release. Open your eyes, get a little wiggle. Come on back. All right. So I'm going to start off with a little story. I'm going to tell you about my over it moment. Okay, because this is the moment we're going to channel when we do this exercise on your own. Okay. My over it moment when I decided that I was done in my marriage. I was working 40 plus hours a week, corporate America, for a very large personal care products company. And I was doing regulatory compliance, which meant that I was doing ingredient reviews, ingredient safety testing, or not doing it, but gathering the results and working with all of the teams to project manage, to uh, schedule launches, and work to get our products registered, marketed, and sold in over 50 countries. Okay. At one point, I was doing all of the countries, all of the registrations, and then as our team grew, my focus was Europe and the Middle East and North Africa. Okay, so I'm working with people every day, dealing with language barriers, dealing with um, time zone changes or time zone issues, dealing with just safety issues for our products and registration issues, and then the not only on innovation, new products, but also products that had been now or that are now being reformulated for whatever reason, right? So lots of balls in the air, lots of balls in the air to the point where I was struggling to hold on to any of them, right? And then you flip into, so that was work life. You flip into home life, and I was getting verbally and emotionally abused every day, all day. My kids, I didn't know it until after I left, but they were getting physically abused and emotionally and verbally abused too while I was at work, because he was responsible for taking the kids to and from school and all that. My daughter was sitting in dirty diapers like all day. She was confined to either her stroller or the pack and play. So there were developmental delays that we found out about later on, things like that. And my husband got this crazy idea in his head that we were going to go live on this farm. We were living in a neighborhood in Florida, typical Florida neighborhood close to the beach. 3-bedroom house, beautiful house. And he got this idea that he wasn't happy anymore. He wanted to go work on a farm. And to be able to work on this farm, we had to move almost an hour north to the farm. And the agreement was that we were going to live in a camper until the people who owned the farm built the farmhands' quarters. Okay, they had this idea that whoever the farmhand was going to live there with their family, and that way he was on the property all the time, right? So, being the supportive wife I am, I see that this is something you're very passionate about. Let's figure out how it's going to work. And I was working 45 minutes south of where we lived. So now my commute became over an hour each direction after working 8, 9, 10-hour days. So I was gone away from the house before dark, coming home after dark, right? And when I was coming home, where my husband had been doing everything with the kids, homework, bath, and cooking dinner and everything, so I didn't have to do anything when I got home except for enjoy my family. When we moved to the farm, all of that stopped. My son's homework hadn't been touched. He hadn't eaten anything since he had been home. My husband, I found out my daughter was being restricted to where she couldn't learn how to walk, except for standing up in her pack and play. She was usually, had food all over her face and a dirty diaper by the time I got home, and usually an empty sippy cup. And he could normally be found in the bedroom of the camper playing Xbox. So I was getting frustrated, obviously frustrated. Could not talk to him about it though, because narcissist, gaslighter, abusive. It always got turned around back on me, and it was my problem. It was things wrong with me. So then he went away for the weekend, as he started to do more frequently. And then it started turning into, weeknights away too, to where I would pull up, I'd come in, I'd say hi, and he would immediately hop in the car and leave. And then I'm stuck there on this farm in a camper with 2 children and 2 dogs with no vehicle. Usually all weekend. Or we had a truck, but it didn't run well, so it wasn't really safe for me to drive with the kids. So one weekend, he goes and does his thing like he has been. I got to the point where I just didn't want anything to do with it anymore. I was done. I was done fighting. The owner of the farm calls me over, says, "Hey, can you come over for a few minutes? I just need to talk to you." Okay, sure. We sit down and I find out that not only has my husband not been doing any of the things that any of his job description. He's been basically taking my son to school, coming back home, staying in the camper all day, picking him up, and coming back and again in the camper. Not only that, but anytime that he was asked to go to the store and get feed for the animals or anything like that, he was pocketing any leftover money. He was purposefully, we think, leaving the water on in the field, jacking the water bills up for the farm, for the whole farm. So when you flood an entire cow field, that gets expensive. And he had been telling the farm owner that we needed money for groceries, we needed money for this, we couldn't make the car, they had bought us a new car. We couldn't make the car payment because of X, Y, and Z, and basically telling her that even though I was making $55,000 a year, we couldn't afford to live rent free because of X, Y, and Z, and it was all my fault. So he was getting money from her to help buy groceries and things, and not telling me about it. So if we were tight one week, I couldn't give her, the $100 he borrowed for groceries because I didn't know about it. So she tells me all this. And she tells me this is the weekend before Thanksgiving in 2019. She tells me, "I need you guys off the farm by the end of the month." So a week and a half, right? Okay, thank you for letting me know. We'll handle it. I wasn't going to talk to him until he came home on Sunday. This was Saturday afternoon. But I laid my daughter down for a nap. I laid myself down for a nap. And I just started thinking about all of it, all of the bullshit that had piled up. This was now the third place in 2 years that we had been kicked out of because of his shenanigans and him lying and making me look bad because I was the one bringing home the money. Therefore, if there's a money issue, it's my fault. When in actuality, we would sit down and look at the budget a few days before my paycheck hit. And if there was $500 left over from my paycheck, he would find some way to spend that $500 the weekend I got paid. So it was just going. Money was just going. So I got up and I walked outside and I called him and I said, "Hey, this is the news I just got. I can't do this anymore. I need you to figure out a way to get the car to me. And the kids and I are going to go stay at a friend's house for the weekend because I need to get off this property and I need to not be around you." And of course, he flipped out and it caused, our whole separation and ultimately our divorce. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. Why? Because I found my strength. I regained my backbone in that conversation. That was my over it moment. I tell you all this because the level of detail that I want you to channel to be able to really process this is so minute. I can remember smells. I can remember the weather. I can remember the look on his face and the sound of his voice and the nasty things that were said by both of us. And I can remember the righteous anger that I felt in that moment. And I've done a lot of work to release the anger, and I'm still angry. There's still stuff that I'm angry about with that moment. I tell you all this not only to be vulnerable and share my story with you, and hopefully if something resonates and we connect, then that's wonderful. But also to let you know that it gets better. When things feel like the end of the world, it's not the end of the world. It's just a feeling. It's just an emotion. So if we can move through that energy, then it becomes easier to manage. And also, I tell you this because grief needs a witness. Anger needs a witness, unfortunately. It's not something that we as humans are meant to process by ourselves. It's not something that we are meant to hold in because it will literally and figuratively make us sick. It will suck the life right out of us if we hold on to it too long. And unfortunately, in today's society, it is very hard and it is uncomfortable for others, and it is frowned upon for a woman to be angry. Think like Diary of a Mad Black Woman, Soul Food, Waiting to Exhale, I know there's other movies, but those are the three that are coming to my mind right now. Acrimonium or Acrimonious. The things that women do when they're angry, when that grief needs a witness. They're either labeled crazy if it comes out publicly, what they're doing, or they hide their anger and their tears behind doors and in the shower and in their pillow. And I'm just not here for that. Anger is an emotion, just like everything else. It should have freedom to be expressed in a safe way. We need safe spaces outside of that locked bedroom to be in our fullest expression, to normalize expressing these more negative emotions, these heavier emotions, right? So knowing that anger and grief need a witness, and giving my example of my over it moment, I want you to think about your over it moment when you just said, I cannot live my life like this anymore. I want you to think about that, and I want you to think about how you can best express that to release any residual anger that you have bubbling inside, because it's eating at you, whether you realize it or not. And we're going to do something really beautiful with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring it up to the surface. That's what this exercise is going to do. We're going to bring it up to the surface. We're going to express it. We're going to let it be seen. And we're going to give it to Mother Earth. We're going to give it to Gaia. Because Gaia has the power to transmute anything into a beneficial energy. Okay? That is her job. So that's why, when things are heavy, we ground, we connect to the earth, we connect our root chakras, because Gaia, absorbs all of that negativity and it gets transmuted into something beautiful and life. And how precious is that, to know that you can go through all these emotions and there's that guiding mother there that can be a witness for your emotions. And then you release them to her and she makes something else with it. She makes something beautiful with it. So you're telling her, see this anger, see this emotion. It no longer serves me. So I won't hold on to it. I know that you can use it to make something beautiful that benefits the collective. Please accept it. And you're going to ground it out. So, like I said before, this exercise is very heavy-handed. It's very heavy-hearted. And it's something that, like I said, you need to be in the right headspace for, and in a safe enough environment that if you are physically seen while doing this, you are in a safe space. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to channel it. You're going to channel that moment that you were just over everything in your current life and knew things needed to change. Channel that moment. Bring up that anger. Let those emotions feel like the first time. Doesn't matter how long ago it was. You're going to bring it up and you're going to find some way to release it. Scream, dance, cry, journal, paint, draw, scribble in a book, punch something safely, destroy something safely, ripping up a piece of paper or breaking something that was meaningful to the moment that you no longer need. And then once you feel like you can't give anymore, you've dumped it all out, you're going to sit on the ground with your palms on the ground, and you're going to allow Mother Earth to take the hurt from you. And I want you to visualize black tar coming out of your palms and into the earth. And as it's coming out of your palms and into the earth, it's going to be wrapping around. I want you to visualize it wrapping around our heart center, wrapping around the core of the earth. And that the core of the earth is spinning. And think of it as like a salad spinner, okay? So this black tar is spinning, mixing in with Gaia, mixing in with her love, and she is literally sucking the blackness out of it. The blackness is disappearing, and what's replacing it is this beautiful pink glowing orb of light. And it's still spinning. It's just changing from that black to that pink. And that is Gaia transmuting that energy into something good, into something beneficial for the collective. And then I want you to see that pink light, the same tendrils that you dropped down for the black tar. I want you to see it seeing that pink light coming back into your hands and filling your entire body and in the room or the car, wherever you are when you're doing this. I want it to fill you imagine that light filling the entire space and then coming back into you. Okay, and finally landing in your heart. It's powerful. It is not something to be taken lightly. There are no journal prompts for this week, but if you feel so called to journal, please do. There's just no structured journal because I want you to spend your energy on this moment. Okay? If you need extra support, let me know. You know how to contact me. You can use the link to schedule an extra session if you need. And I will see you in our last video. I love you all so much. Have a great day.